God bless you. If you want to get into a better mood, this is the time. Sharing Gladness is here for all of you, and we welcome. Also, we welcome today Sammy. How are you?
God bless you, Sister Olga. God bless you, Sister Jurley.
Amen. We're really happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy also. Long time
Yes.
without coming to this program.
We love it because you have always a smile on your face. So
Yeah.
that's very encouraging, inspiring.
Yeah, that motivates us to smile also. That's good.
Yeah, sometimes we are too serious. That's one of my problems. I usually have a face very serious, and people think that it's difficult to talk to her.
Yeah.
Praise God, after they approach,
They
the
say,
mind
"Oh,
changes. Yes.
She's not as terrible as we
Yes,
think.
as tough as we thought. Well, you know that we want to see always the positive side of life, because life sometimes becomes really hard, very discouraging, but not always because life is not giving us opportunities. It's because we ourselves in our minds fight with so many things. One of those things is how much you are satisfied with the things that you have done till today. In your case, Sammy, if today were the last day of your life, how would you feel?
Ooh. I would say that there are many things that I think I should have done or achieved
Okay.
that maybe have not taken place yet.
Okay, that's something that might happen to everyone. However, another important question, are you working in order to achieve those things?
I think yes. I think I have been working on those things for years. Yet we understand that those things are not so easy to get. Like, if you want to be a preacher, for example, you'll have to preach many times and years for you to feel a little bit comfortable. We're not saying that you will be perfect,
No.
but at the same time, practice makes perfect. And in the same, it's the same thing with music. So you
I
imagine
think
what I'm
especially
talking
with
about.
Yeah.
I want to record some things, and I also want to develop more in preaching. So those things, I think.
Okay, that's good. Well, working on those projects and desires that we have is something wonderful. But do you think that there is a moment when we say, okay, I am done, I finished, or whenever we reach a level, we want to go to the next one?
No, I think, yeah, hopefully we don't stop. We want to reach something else. And also because I think when we reach that point that we thought is just the end, we realize it's not. There is something else to learn. There is something else to develop. So I think you can keep on growing.
So you will never be satisfied.
I think no.
You know, I was thinking about this like 15 days ago. Like 2 weeks ago, I was surrounded by a lot of musicians
Wow.
that have been studying.
So almost professional people in
Yes.
that area.
And many of them were telling me, you should continue, studying, because I see you have talent, and
So continue developing that.
So it seems like next year maybe I will study a little bit
Oh, really? Formally.
formally.
And you have never done it.
Never. Maybe when I was a kid, very small kid, I had the opportunity to learn a little bit formally, but not the instruments I play.
Well, I
Were a different
Just
ones?
reading.
Okay.
Reading
Okay.
notes, reading notes and singing. But that's called in Spanish, or even in some different languages, solfeo.
Okay.
So now it seems like I will have the opportunity. They told me next year I could register to start learning formally.
Good.
Two things I think can happen. One, that indeed you will learn new things and you will perfect that talent. Another one is that maybe you will just confirm that you were doing things in the right way.
Or some people get frustrated.
No. Hopefully that won't happen.
Because, something that I heard somebody else say, and maybe it can happen to me, though I am planning not to give up, is that many times when you learn by yourself, then when you go to study formally, then you realize that there are some things that you were doing not in the correct way. Maybe you were doing it, but now you need to, in Spanish we say deconstruct.
Yeah.
So it can happen. Like a lot of people say, you were doing it good, but you have to change the position of your finger, and then you start trying to change the position.
Well, working like
Well,
that.
I don't agree with that much, because with Yulei we have spoken about that. Sometimes professionals, scholars, they have a theory, they have like the formula, the right way to do things.
But the result.
But it doesn't mean, yes, that the result will be always good.
Yeah.
And more when we are in God. Sometimes the Lord allows you to find a different way, a way that might be crazy for some people, right? But it works. There are wonderful fruit about that. So
No,
but-
and also because I think the Lord is that good that wants us like not to conform with things the way everyone does it. As you said, sometimes the Lord will show you a way that it is good for you, that works for you, and that gives glory to Him because you didn't know how to.
Yeah.
But then suddenly you already are doing it.
And people might say, it is crazy. That's not the correct way. He's not putting into practice what other people have studied for years. But let's see the result. So what do you think about
Many times
that?
concerning the result, I may say, I have noticed, I have spoken to people that really know theory and really know about the subject they are talking about. But when you see them do it, like I have had the experience with engineers that went to university and everything, and then concerning, for example, sound engineering, they talk about it and you get excited. You say, ooh, I'm gonna see the result of what he is talking about. And when you go and listen to it, you don't get impressed. In fact, many times you get like
It's
Discouraged.
not good.
yes, because when you heard him talk about the technical things, you imagine the results are going to be great. But many times experience and also talent, because that's something else that God blesses us with talents, and everybody doesn't have the same talents. So I have seen people that never had a singing class, that they sing in the streets,
And they sing
and
wonderfully.
when you hear them, you say, how does he sing like that? Like, he's very good. And you ask him, did you have classes, lessons? Never. So we are not telling people not to study, not to prepare themselves.
Of course.
But at the same time, we need to understand that there are things that God will give us. The Bible says even that every talent, every good gift
Comes
comes from above. So many times we don't even understand. You might be working or studying something for 10 years, and then you find somebody never studied and he's doing it better than you. And that's when we, instead of getting angry or envious, we should give glory to God, because then we understand that things are not only in Christian life, even in secular life.
Right.
You have seen people that they sit down with you for 5 minutes, and when you stand up from that table, you already bought them everything they're selling.
Right.
It's something that God gave them.
I think also we should be open-minded when we're studying, because sometimes you just want to, or sometimes I have seen some people, they just focus on what they are receiving. They don't realize that there are some other things you can learn from outside or from the experience, and they just do what they have been taught.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then you see that it's limited.
Yes, I agree with you. And I have found also that sometimes we study, and it's wonderful. We acknowledge the great work others have done in order for us, to bless us, to teach us. But it is wonderful when you finish studying and then you start to explore, to use that as a basis to create new things, not to stop just there repeating what others have done.
Many times, I have seen people that when they get certain age, they don't want to go to any. How can I explain this? Like, for example, somebody is 50 years, or even people that are 40 or 35, they say it's too late for me to go
Uh-huh.
and learn something, because they imagine if they don't have the process other people had, then they won't have the results.
Yeah.
For example, right now I am 32 years old, and I am going to start formally studying something.
Do you feel a little bit scared or
Nervous?
fearful? Yeah.
Well, I know there is people that started at 5 years or 7 years old.
Of course.
So maybe if I compare myself with somebody else, but that's something important. We cannot be just comparing processes with other people, because maybe that person's gonna die when he's 50 and
Yeah.
maybe you're gonna die when you're 80. So there are 30 years there that maybe that person won't be there. That's why God gave them the opportunity. Or maybe you were not ready in character.
That's a good point. You just made me remember a person that was scared because she is like 30 and she just started to study at university. She knows many things about administrative work, but she wants to be certified. And she was telling me all of my fellow students are very young. They are in their 20s. I am the oldest. However, in the performance that we have to do concerning all the studies, the courses, I feel that I am more responsible. They are thinking about going to, parties, to do just social life, but I am focused on my studies, and the results, because she already finished the first term, are great. So that's important.
And something else that I have noticed, I don't know if Sister Jurley may relate to this in some areas. I think everybody have some things that you feel like the talent is there, so you don't need to make an effort. But some other things, you need to be very disciplined and learn and study. So many times, being talented can be a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Because you feel it's enough.
So you don't make an effort. So many times in I remember when there was this time when in social media you could see videos of people from Japan or China or Korea playing instruments or doing some different things so perfect, and everybody would type in the comments, but he's Asian.
Yeah.
But
Because of the discipline mentality they have.
yes, so it's not because if we are from some other places in the world, we can't have their talent. We might have the same talent, but they have discipline. So many
Yeah.
times discipline kills.
Yeah.
When we hear their processes, because we know they start we know they start very soon in their lives doing that, and for long hours they are not doing it.
Yes.
Like sometimes we think in 2 hours, 3 hours we are going to make it, and they do it by 8 hours. I've heard somebody who was practicing like 15 hours a day.
Wow.
So and then you want to achieve the same in just 1 hour, so it's not going to be.
And also we manage some things as hobbies, not as a job. And for example, if I talk about going to a company to work, then I will say, yes, I have to go and work 8 hours.
Okay.
But if I say I'm a musician, maybe I won't think I have to work 8 hours a day in my instrument.
Yes.
I won't think like
That
that.
happens.
But those who are famous and everything, mostly they see their instrument not as a hobby, but
It's a profession.
as a job, a profession, and they will invest
They will have
time.
a schedule for that. I've heard that. Like they do that and some people, like, when I have time, but for them it's not like that. They will organize their life, their time, as if we are working, I have to work from this time to this time. Because I think, personally, it's my experience, sometimes we are not organized.
Yes.
And it depends also on the culture, right? Because in our society, there are some schemes, right? Some things that people establish and they say it should be like this or it should be like that. So in the case of Latin American people say we are not disciplined, we are lazy, some of us, although others say, at least Colombian people, they say that we are hardworking people because we lack discipline. They say you cannot do better things because of that. But other cultures focus too much and they promote, they foster that discipline. So that's something that really comes from our mindset, right? It's not about age, it's not about the country you were born, it's about our feelings, our mentality.
But do you think there are things that we want to do that we haven't done because we think it's too late?
Of course.
Yeah. There are things that you see, no, that's for the younger people, but for us, it's not going to happen.
And even scholars say that after your 40s, you stop learning, you are more fearful to start new projects. So that's why we need also to take into account what society say, because they want to put you into a frame. Yes, you have to stay there, and just few people are able to leave that and try new things.
Do you think that when you maybe become if the Lord doesn't come before, but maybe if we are 80 years old and we still can hear properly, see properly and everything, do you think you would go into a course or something to learn formally?
At that age?
Yes. Because
I think if it is strong in his mind, he or her or she, if they are strong in their mind, they could.
The other day I saw on the news this old man. He was 80 something.
Wow.
And he was just graduating from university. I think he became a lawyer. And everybody was like impressed, because many times when we are still young and we are saying it's too late. And this man, and I imagine all his fellow classmates, everybody was young. So imagine when he got graduated. And the story said that he wanted to be a lawyer since he was young, but he never had the opportunity.
Oh, so it was also a matter of, I guess,
it was his dream. It was his dream, but he had to work. He had many responsibilities, and he never could. And when he was an old man, he said, "I will do it.
This is my time."
But that's great.
He never quit his dream.
I think we should follow those kind of examples, because sometimes we quit too easily and too early in life. We're still young, so there are things that I think.
I am always afraid that maybe we pass from this life and maybe we haven't done, in my case, never wrote a book.
So that's one of your desires.
Never recorded a CD that is, I recorded a CD, how do you say, a duet, but maybe a solo CD.
Okay.
And maybe spiritually speaking, some things that I would like to see spiritually.
Well, let me be sincere with you. It's a surprise to me to hear that, because sometimes the ones who are looking at us, they see so much talent that even they get surprised when they say, but why he hasn't done it? In your case, when you say, I want to write a book, I want to record a solo, I said, but why he hasn't done it? If he has so much to give, the talent, the time.
I think that has to do also with the process, because you might have the talent, but you need a song that is given by God.
Okay.
But after you have them, you won't believe me if I tell you that it's much easier to produce a song for somebody else. Then, for example, I am making decisions on a song, and I do something and then I say, no, let's better change this. Let's put this. I'm going to repeat this verse. But when I'm doing something for somebody else, it's so fast. Like I understand how the song should be. But when it's mine, it's so hard to make decisions.
But is it only because you are perfectionist, or also because you have certain standards that you have heard and you want to reach them? Why you fight, you struggle so much with...
For example, in my case, I didn't have the resources to go pay in a studio to record. So I started building my own studio, and that needs money. So I have been buying first a microphone, then a cable, then an interface. So it's a matter of also saving money, learning, because it's different to just write songs and go somebody else records you, mixes, masters.
Yeah.
And you do everything.
But if you do everything, you have to learn how to do each part, even how to register your song legally. So you have to read. And for example, in other things like writing the book, I have in my cell phone, I have like the
draft,
like the first page,
okay,
like how it's gonna be seen, for me to remind every time I check it. I remember I have to write this book. But I think also things will be done in the time of God.
Yes, and we need to learn to be patient, right?
Yeah, because I think it's better when you wait in the time of God to do something, because if you rush in doing it now because you feel, I should do it now, and then you see the result and it's not as good as you maybe said, if I have practiced more, learn more, maybe this would be better.
And you need room for some things. For example, you have seen the car, not the car, the truck that I want for evangelism.
Okay.
If somebody would give me the money to buy the truck and everything, I need a place where to keep that truck. It's not just a matter of having the truck. Where are you going to keep it?
Yeah.
You have to pay a rent for it.
And then you have to,
And many things come with a blessing.
Yes.
So many times we don't understand why maybe other people is doing it already, but we have not seen the process they had.
That's true.
Or the other circumstances that are different for them, and we can compare ourselves.
Well, if you finally study or not, I just want to remember what our pastor once said. Even if you don't go to a formal institution to study, if you are working hard on that by yourself, that's your master. Yeah, you are already studying even so much than other people who are already there.
Amen.
So may God help you, Sammy, and thank you for being here with us.
We will wait to read the book.
Yes, for
but
sure.
we will buy it, of course.
I hope so.
Well, and thank you for being with us. Remember, it's never too late to start your projects and persevere, work hard. Even if you don't have all the resources you would like to have, never get discouraged. You will be astonished of the wonderful things the Lord can do with you just by trusting in Him. So God bless you, and we hope to meet you again here in Sharing Gladness.